Hello, welcome to the Shared Library tutorial. We'll be going to the Jenkins Shared Library, what it is and why it is important, and how it is modernizing the Jenkins. So, Shared Library is basically used for creating templates which are reusable. So, you can write a common logic here, and it can be reused across all the pipelines. It follows the convention where we create a shared library in a GitHub repo or maybe some version control repo. So in our case, it is GitHub. So it follows the following structure. So in the root directory, there should be a var directory, source directory, resources directory, and also there can be a test directory. So for now, the test directory is not important. So we'll just understand it why or what are the directories and why it is required. So var directory actually contains the Groovy scripts which has the global variables functions which are accessible via the Jenkins file or the declarative pipelines. Then these all are the simple usable functions across the pipelines. Then we have the source directory. So source directory is for writing the structured Groovy code with the classes and packages. It's similar to the Java we have. So it has a source directory, and then you can have your Groovy files here, and the whole structure can be here. You can create the classes and packages which can be used later. Now the resources file is also again just like the Java structure where it stores the config files, templates, etc. to be used. So there is another test directory which I have not mentioned and it is not required. So it is helpful for writing the unit test cases in case required for the pipelines. So coming to the benefits of shared library, so it follows the dry principle, which is to reuse the common logic across the pipelines. We'll see in the upcoming lectures how we are using the pipelines or what is the actual benefit. So we'll understand practically with the hands-on. Then it also helps to better organize the structured code for various pipelines, and it also supports testing the pipeline code. And again, these things can be controlled with the help of version control because the following directory structures we need to keep in the version control in a separate repo. So for now, our tutorial we just need var directory and the Groovy file here. We don't need these things, so we'll skip these things for the simple demo. Or for our functionality, we just need only these directories. So okay, so the next configuration, what we need to do is like we need to go to our Jenkins, to go to manage Jenkins, and then in the system we need to configure the name. So here I have given my shared libraries as the name. Then again we need to give the default version. So in here we are using main branch. So you can just mention your own branch here. And these all are default check, and you can just enable that like default version to be overridden and include library for recent job changes. Then in the Git, you need to configure the GitHub repo where the shared libraries repository exists, and you have your code, which we discussed a few minutes back. And because it's a public repo, so it doesn't need credentials, but in your case, you may need credentials. So just create the credentials and select the required credentials from here so that you can authenticate and download the source code for shared library. So here, again, this is the sample code which will be used by the pipeline. So this is the actual pipeline which is utilizing our source code written in the shared library. The shared library is called using add library, and then you have to give the name of your choice, and then you have to give the underscore sign, which understands like you need to use the shared library. And this is the declarative pipeline. So where we are mentioning it should select the agent wherever the label is Mac machine. Then in the stages, we have two sections. So first stage is like it will check out our source code, which is not that of the shared pipeline, but your actual source code which you want to build. So this is the checkout part or the clone part of the our repository or the application which we need. So we have mentioned it here. And then we are doing the build job, so which is building the Node.js. So this is the Node.js repo. So this will build our Node.js repo. We'll see how we'll be building these things. So in the upcoming lecture, we'll see how we'll be building these things. And this is our references. Like this is the shared library. This is the shared library GitHub repo, and this is our actual shared libraries, which is shared by Jenkins. So this is the we can see this link is here. The shared libraries, so which is the documentation from Jenkins. So it is very extensive. So you can understand how to create class packages and implement those things. So let's get back to our tutorial. So I'll go to my repo. So This is the repo which I have created, and it's named Jenkins Shared Library. You can give any name of your choice. And this is the main branch. And here we have created the structure. As I said, we only need the vast directory as of now. So the vars I created, and we'll find a couple of Groovy files here. So we'll go one by one to understand what we are doing. So if we go inside Java Gradle build Groovy, so this is basically a template which will help to build all the Java Gradle builds with the standardized template using the shared library concept. So here definition DEF means functions here, and by default when you mention call, it will understand directly that it needs to call the from the pipeline, it needs to call the shared library. And again, string is the argument. So we are trying to pass the job name from the pipeline, which will be calling our shared library. So this is like, again, we are printing the argument here, which is the job name. And this is like the going to the workspace, like it will go to the workspace, which is the job workspace whenever we create, and it will create the execute permissions over this script, and it will execute that. So these all things will be, this is the shared library for the Java Gradle build, and it will be called during the new pipeline creation. So I'll be calling this shared library. This is one configuration, and then we need to do one more thing, which is you need to go to manage Jenkins, go to system. Okay, so we'll scroll down until we find the global trusted pipeline libraries. So here we have given the name as my shared libs. You can give any name of your choice, and this is the main branch which we are calling. I mean, this is the main branch, you can see. So I mentioned the main branch here, and then these all are the default options selected. So just let it be, and you need to select the modern SCM over the retrieval method, which is also by default selected. In case not, you should select the modern SCM, and then the source code is git. So you just need to give the shared library repo. So this is the my repo. So I have given till this path. Okay. So again, this is my public repo. So I don't need the credentials. So in case you have your own private repo, so you need to feed your credentials and select from here. So that's it. You can just save here. Okay. So now I will create a sample pipeline. So let's go to new item, and I'll go to pipeline. I'll give a name, sample Gradle will shared libs. So you can give any name of your choice, by the way. So just go to OK. Again, these all things you can skip, like you can give the description and all we have already discussed in the previous lectures. So select the pipeline script. So here we'll be directly using the declarative syntax. So I already have my code ready. So I'll just explain this. So add library my shared libs. So this is the one which we mentioned over the manage Jenkins system configuration. So you should use the same name here again, and you should give the underscore sign. So this will understand it needs to call the shared library of whatever we have mentioned here, the shared library libs. So it will get to understand it needs to use a shared library from here. Then this is the pipeline is the keyword here. We are using the declarative syntax, again agent. So agent is like Mac machine. So we have the Mac machine agent. In case you want to run your on any nodes, you can just do any. I mean, you can just write agent any. So I wish to run it over my Mac machine agent. So hence I have given the label as Mac machine, and then we have configured the various stages. So in the first stage is checkout. So where I will be checking out the source code of Gradle. So this is the actual one, which is like Gradle project multi-module, and the branch I wish is master. So just remember, this is not your shared pipeline GitHub repo, but it is your actual source code where your Gradle project resides. And this is the master we have selected. Again, the next stage we have configured is build. So we'll build the Gradle job. So for that, again, in the you need to mention the steps and script. This is the syntax for the pipeline, and in that I have defined a variable called job name. So job name is being passed from the Jenkins environment variable. That is, it will be the name of your this sample Gradle build using shared libs. So this is the name I am passing to job name, and then I'll invoke this Java Gradle build, and I'm passing this as a parameter here. So if we go to was, and if we go to Java Gradle build, so Java Gradle build, again you need to give the same, you need to call the same function here. That's why the file name, whatever we have mentioned here, Java build.groovy. So the same file Java Gradle build should be mentioned here, and here we are passing the job name from here, which is again sample Gradle build. So once it passes here, it will echo the running job and the job name, which is being called from the shared library, and then it will go inside the workspace of your job, which is this workspace, and then it will provide the execute permissions for the Gradle W. So this all things Gradle W and all this is coming from your checkout workspace. So when you check out or clone this repo, you will be having this Gradle W script. So I'm just providing permissions here, and it will run the Gradle clean build. So we can see we have configured this for running our Gradle build. So all the pipelines can be configured to remove all the complexity from here, and it can be standardized from here. So whenever you need to call the Gradle builds, you can just simply call by using these steps. So in this way, like whoever or whichever project which needs to use Gradle builds can simply use the this template and just run all of the Gradle builds. So suppose you have 10-15 teams which needs to use Gradle build, so you can configure it from here in this way, and it will be standardized because all the steps are here in the shared library, which is standard for all. So similarly, if you have a complex pipeline which is having compile, package, post to artifactory, etc., so all those things, if you have created as part of the Groovy file here in the shared library, so those things can be easily called from here, and nobody can edit that, and it will be standardly, the standards will be applied, and it will be uh, following the standard pipelines all over your organization. So let's save it. So for now, we will just build it. Let's see the logs. Okay, it has started the pipeline. So here we can see it has downloaded the shared libs libraries from our repo, shared libs library, and then now it is selected our Mac machine node, which is up and running the agent. Now it is checking out the actual source code, which is the Gradle project, which we need to compile and build. And we can see it has started building in the stage of the build stage. So checkout part was done. So where again it is echoing the name of the shared libs job, so which I mentioned, which we pass as the parameter, and it has moved to our workspace location here, which we mentioned over here, which is like dir then environment.workspace, which is coming from the Jenkins workspace of the build, and it is running again, providing execute permissions to the Gradle W script, and it is now running the Gradle W clean build. Okay, great. So the build is successful, and our shared pipeline shared libraries has been used for the Gradle pipeline. Cool, it is success. So we have completed the Gradle pipeline creation with the help of shared libraries.